Hey, back again, making another element video. Today, I'm going to be making one that is quite simple, which is otherwise a tier list. Now, obviously, I don't got a tier list right now in front of me, but let's just pretend there is, and let's have the simple category, S, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then D tier, right? Which, I guess we really don't need it. I guess we can just put A, B, D, no, A, B, C, and D for our tier list because we really, there's not that many dressing swords in this game, which is unfortunate. It's kind of actually it kind of sucks that there's not that many dressing swords in the game. Literally, there's only in total of 7 dressing swords. Otherwise, swords of this class, which is a dressing sword, you got heavy dressing swords, which that is completely different from the dressing swords. Obviously, like the name suggests, it's heavy, so it's bigger, has different properties towards it, and different mastery. Now, I have mastered the art of thrusting swords. Right, I am well qualified in my league to make a video about this. Unless you want to listen to Rage Gaming's bullshit video, which I do enjoy his videos. It's just that when it comes to his tier list, it's just fuck no, hell no. You can't get me to listen to that shit whatsoever. So let's get into this. The first one, the regular basic ass rapier that you can buy from the Tournament Husk. I can't remember if there was a rapier on any of the starting classes. If there is, comment me that down below, and I would like it. But anything besides that, I have never seen it on a official starting class. It's something that you can just buy from the Tournament Husk. Now, I will immediately stick this up in the C tier. C tier because it's good, right? Good in early game, because ever since they updated the stagger damage in this game, it has worked it really well out for these dressing swords. The rapier has really great, critical damage and everything, and it mostly scale. Well, actually, here's actually something interesting. Most, let's see, one, two, and three. All right, so there's 3 dressing swords in this game right now that most of scales with dex. Right, it's more of a dexterity weapon than a strength weapon. So there's that. Now, if I were to recommend a build for you, maybe have like a status effect, maybe like poison or bleed, maybe. Well, not really bleed. I want to. Well, I mean, you can put bleed if you want to on. No, that's just completely up to your choice. You could even put frost if you want to get frosty with it. But for me, I would just put it on keen. But just f around with it. But anyway, that's enough for rapier. So our first one on the tier list, the rapier, obviously in C, C tier. So there's a good critical damage. Just that it's not like the best weapon to practically use. Actually, it's actually the other thing that kind of makes it where it knocks down a peg. It doesn't have that much hitbox range. It actually is the lowest of the hitbox range out of all the dressing swords. So there's a onward towards the next one, the Noble S dot. Otherwise, it's an S dot like this, but it's different. Got different handle and stuff. Otherwise, it's called Noble's S dot. Um, it's a really rare dressing sword. Now, when I say this is good, I'm gonna be practically honest with you. Not really. It's not like the best thing, but it's not the worst thing either. The reason why I say that is because for like its skills, in strength and dexterity, which obviously the best, affinity for that is quality. because quality does go with strength and dexterity. So for noble aspect, that's something I would recommend y'all. The quality, and there's really not much to go on about that. There's not You rarely see anyone make any builds out of it. I mean, this one's kind of just one of those things that you just have just for the sake for it. Maybe have it as a collectible or anything. Now, I would put this. No, honestly, I would have done stuck this literally at like D tier. But what gives it a seven, a saving grace, is that it is longer. It's the second longest hitbox range in the whole entire game for dressing swords. Just regular dressing swords, not heavy dressing swords, but just for regular dressing swords, it's the second highest. So take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, let's go on to the Clean Rot Knight Sword. I have touched this weapon once, and I haven't touched it at all ever since then. I will tell you the simple reasons why. It's not worth it. You mostly farm this item at late game where the Millennia boss is at. Well, before the Millennia boss, you're outside. You see these, clean rot knights. You kill one. You kill the ones that has the sword, and it will eventually drop it. But for what it's worth, yes, it is the longest hitbox range in the whole entire game for Dresden weapons. Well, Dresden swords, but it's just not worth it. This also goes with dexterity and strength. So obviously, I'm just gonna say, like I said, with nobles as stock before, quality is your best bet on it. But enough about that. But this is also going to be the first weapon that's going to be stuck in D tier. It's going to be stuck up in D tier. Actually, you know what? The Nobles S stock can also go in D tier. I just remember that you had to grind that shit just a sec for it. Yeah, that can go in D tier as well. Them two can go in D tier. Alright. Onward to Roger's Rapier. This rapier has potential, but it's good if you just wanted. But you could make. I've seen people do occult blade builds out of it. I've seen a lot of things been done with this before. Has fairly decent damage, but it has very decent damage, and you know this one you could just stick with anything. You could have a strength dexterity build. You could have a dexterity magic build, dexterity bleed. Dexterity faith if you ever are interested in that. Which let me just say, faith damage is kind of bookie shit. The only time that faith is really not bookie shit is when you're using like the healing incantations. For example, like archery heal. Maybe have a buff like golden bow or whatever the case may be. But personally, I'm not really a faith type of guy. I'm more into incants, otherwise sorceries, because sorceries, they're easy to work with to make them strong, powerful. And if you really want to do, faith, save that for endgame. Trust me, it's best bet you can go with. But anyway, that's enough about Roger's Rapier, which this can actually be placed in C tier. Because you literally, well, actually, let's bump that up a little bit. Because when you first get it, it's a +8, and it has glint blade phalanx. So put that up in the B tier, and and it's real simple. You just beat Godric. You tell Roger that, hey, you beat Godric, and you do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And he dies. You get it before he dies, and then when he dies, you get his clothes. Totally ain't weird, but anyway, onward to Anthier's Rapier. This one can easily be stick up at the B tier. I want to put it up in the A tier, but in B tier because it causes scarlet rot. It causes scarlet rot. It scales with dexterity and strength. Other thing is, you can also put whatever Ashes of War you want on it, so that's another plus on that. While it has Scarlet Rot, which if you put it on poison, it will cause Scarlet Rot and poison. So if you're ever worried about that, well, put your worries to bed because you can still do it. But that's really all for the Amphire's Rapier. Now, here's something I also gotta keep in mind. It is literally the third lowest, you know, hitbox attack range in the whole entire game. So take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, onward to the Frozen Needle. The Frozen Needle can easily stick up to A tier. Not only does it cause frostbite damage, but it shoots this little frosty glunstone pebble, and then when you press the heavy button after doing that special, using this Ash of War, it will dart. It will dart and it will impale, and it's really good. It's really good for magic builds. I would recommend this over any build over the week. If you want to have a magic, drusty weapon. Now, keep in mind, the dexterity is not the greatest. This is a D tier. But after upgrading it, I think you can maybe get it up to C tier. But, whatever. And onward to the final Drusted Sword, which I'm going to tell you this. Arguably, my most favorite Drusted Sword in the whole entire game, and I think it's one of the best ones. I think it has one of the best, potential of all of them, and it does really great damage for what it's worth. S-Stock is actually a weapon you can get if you pick the Prisoner class, which that's actually what I picked, the Prisoner class. And I have never switched this Drusted Sword out for any other, these little, any other Drusted Sword. Now, keep in mind, this is not my level 113 character, which basically has everything you can think of. Because, I just want to make a new one just so I can go through the same hellhole I beated. But just for the sake of it. But I love this Drusted Sword. This one is it's the third highest, it's the third longest attack hitbox range. Not as much as, Cling Rod or the Noble, but it ain't low at all. Right. Like, I think if we really were to put the S-Stock and the Noble's S-Stock, I think they'll come really close. Just by a couple centimeters. Right, but that's not the special perk about this. This does a crap ton of stagger damage. This thing does a crap ton of stagger damage. If you have seen the Land of series, you would have realized I gotten a boss to stagger really easily by just poking them, physically poking them, barely using my Ash of War on here. And it's just absurd. It's just completely downright bullshit in a sense of way for how good this weapon is. And I love it. I love it. It's just real simple. This is what his normal attacks are. Oh, let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 thrust in total from this. Spamming that melee button. And this is, it's heavy. It's kind of a weird one because, it doesn't slice, doesn't do a heavy poke or anything. Which, I don't mind, to be honest. I mean, I wish it was kind of like a poke, but no. Which honestly, in the same way, I kind of am glad it has this because let's just say someone is attacking you, rushing you. You can just go like this, you know, backstep and then just do this, and it will catch them. Because like it ain't slow by any standards. I mean, I guess you could kind of say it's a little bit slow when it's doing this heavy, but I mean, what you expect is a heavy attack. But anyway, you could just, you could do some like crazy potential. Now, for example, in the PvP, I've been doing this where I do this, and then go do a 3 hit, and then go. Which, if you don't know what actual word I put on it, I put, you know, impale and thrust. Really basic, but you know, it does the job. Nothing wrong with it. And besides, you know, it's really good for this weapon anyway. Now, what affinity I would recommend you? Well, since this, like you see in the attributes for Chromid, you have to have 11 strength and dexterity 13. But you see, the skills like its skeleton is its base skeleton without any affinities. E in strength and C in dexterity. So obviously you want to put this on keen, which honestly is the best thing for this weapon actually, because it actually gets a bonus for if you let's just say you use Scarlet's ornament, it actually buffs any ornament enchantment you put on it. That's actually the special part about this than any other dressing sword. Which I cannot tell you how much I love putting like being a magic build and just putting Scarlet's ornament on this. Because when you stick this on it's a cherry on top. Right, it's just a cherry on top. So let me go to this side of grace right here. So let's just knock it off. Damn, no it doesn't. Alright. No, this is max. As stock, plus 25. Ooh, and as you can see there, with the Scarlet's Armament, it adds the magic properties. Right, which the added magic properties is, 240 damage. But here's actually the interesting part. If you use Terra Magica while having this, well now I just boosted up to 756. May not seem a lot, but for a dressing weapon that does a lot of, critic, like a lot of stagger damage, that's a lot. Alright, so you see, this is just regular, 400 dirty. But now we're gonna, put the Scarlet's Ornament, which now is 671. Now we're gonna stick our Magic Scorpion Charm, which, as you can see, increases it. And now we're gonna put this. 795, almost 800 damage. So there's an idea if you ever want to do something like that, but I mean, I really don't want to put a Magic Scorpion Charm because I got Radagon Sword Seal and America Sword Seal, which I really recommend this if you're starting off in a prisoner, prisoner crest and you're gonna build it. Oh, let me just show you my base stats. So let's say I got 20 in Vigor, 20 in Mind, 20 Endurance, 20 Strength, 40 Dexterity, 60 Intelligence, 10 Faith, and 16 Arcade, which I'm trying to get up to 20. Faith, it can go suck my ass for all I care. Which, honestly, I've been Um, Also, yes, this is my tryhard girl. LOL. Oh fuck! I oh yeah, I forgot I'm on New Game Plus. But yeah, so when you put the Twinstone Clown, increases it by 6 points, and then when you stay this on there, which honestly increases, dexterity, strength, endurance, and vigor. There's nothing bad about that. And then you got, this which increases mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane. And now you got 70 point intelligence, easy. Real easy to do that. But I think that's enough for this video. If you like this video, please like on that and comment your opinion about this tier list, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.